Hey again. So I just thought I'd do one last little video, which is hints and tips, things that I've found through doing drag, or things that people ask me when I'm out, or other people that are interested in drag have asked me in the past. If you guys have got any other questions, feel free to message me and I will do my best to do either a video response or email you back individually with any help that I can offer. So as some of you will know, my drag name was Mary Hinge. I do still have a Facebook page for her open, loads and loads of pictures. It's a completely open profile, so if you guys want to go over and have a look at it, it's facebook.com/fabulousmaryhinge. I will pop a link in the bit below, so that if you guys want to go and have a look or friend me up, go for it, more the merrier. So on to the main subject, which is hints and tips. I'll start off with tucking, because that's probably one of the most important parts of drag. You don't want to be falling out, you don't want bulges in the wrong places depending on the outfits that you're wearing. The best way I've found to tuck is to use very snug or very tight fitting women's briefs or tummy control pants. So get those in a size that is either the same size as you are, because they are very elasticated and very tight, or one size smaller, because that will really hold everything in. If I was wearing something particularly skimpy, I'd probably be wearing two. So I'd wear the first pair just to tuck me in. Sorry, I've got a bit of wig in my eye. That's really annoying. So I'd wear the first pair, which were the size that I was, just to hold everything in place, and then the tighter pair would go over the top just to really suck everything in and hold it in place. And the best way that I found to tuck that was most comfortable for me is either side of your penis you have natural little pockets, and your testicles will naturally pop into those. It is a little bit uncomfortable the first time you do it. You will get used to it. So pop those up there, and then everything else gets pulled back. There are various other ways of holding it in place. I don't like taping or anything like that. If you hold everything in place and then pull the pants over the top, the pants, where they're such strong elastic, will hold everything where it's meant to be. The only downside to that is if you need to go to the toilet, it can be a very awkward pulling everything back out to go and then tucking it all back away again. Again, you'll find what works for you. That's just the way I used to do it, and it took me a while to sort of get there with that. It does make more revealing underwear a little bit more awkward, but I never used to wear that, so I didn't used to worry about it. So moving on from there, how to cover hairy legs without shaving. I did get to a point where I just used to shave, it was just easier. And then just one pair of tights of a certain denier to give me a nice sheen or an even coverage. Failing that, if you don't want to shave, or you haven't got the time, or you can't be bothered, or because it is a hassle for guys with really hairy legs, I have quite hairy legs, you can either buy something called dance skins, which are a very thick pair of tights, in which case you probably only need one of those, depending how hairy you are. They have got really good coverage and they should hide most stuff. Failing that, if you can't get hold of any, if they're too expensive for you, or you just haven't got the time to wait for them to be delivered or anything like that, go to your local chemist, get the cheapest pair of tights you can. I used to go to Superdrug and buy a pack of 7, and I used to buy 2 packs of those, and I would wear anywhere between 10 and all 14, and that would cover everything. It also helps with your tuck to make sure that nothing's going to fall out of place. If you haven't got both those pair of tuck pants on, you're sorted. Nothing's going to go astray. Even if anyone shoves their hand down there, which they shouldn't be doing, they're not going to feel anything anyway. So, neither here nor there. They do constrict, so do be aware that you may feel a bit squeezed by the end of the night. and it may make your feet slightly smaller, so depending on your shoes, you may start feeling slightly slippy in them, so just be aware of that. But also, if you get a ladder in them, you can just take one pair off and it's not going to make any difference at all, and you've not paid a lot for them either, so you're not wasting money. But those are really good ways to hide your leg hair completely. Really, really easy ways to do it. Moving further up the body, creating cleavage. You can either just literally pull your chest together. I don't know if I'll be able to show you on this. So just pulling across gives you this bubble, and if you do it on both sides and then you're in a bra, you will get that natural sort of cleavage. Sometimes throughout the night it will just fall away and you will be left flat chested. If you want, you can add a contour, so same with what you would do on your face, you will contour your chest. The easiest way I found to do it is, rather than looking at pictures or anything like that and trying to work out where it's meant to go, if you do just what I did then, pull upwards in a sort of diagonal motion, and then just colour in that crease with a darker colour, and that will show up in pictures and things like that. And it will just give that definition there. You can also add a highlight to this top area, so you've got a shadow and a light bit, and that will just really make it pop. So on both sides that will then give you the fuller look in the camera as well. Obviously in the flesh it's going to look a little bit less, depending on how subtle you are with the blending, which moves us nicely on to actual boobs. How do you get boobs? What do you use? I personally, depending on the outfit I'm wearing, because obviously certain outfits are going to finish in different places, I used to use a mixture of either chicken fillets, which are obviously infills for women's bras to give them a more fuller look. If you use more than one, you can actually create an actual breast outfit if you layer them together. And I used to use 3, so I'd use 1, 2, and then I'd have a third one in the middle, and it gives you a very full breast shape. You can lay that actually in the bra, and that'll give you the full breast shape. If you then pull and drop, you then get this bubble area. If you can see that particularly well. Yeah, there you go. So you get that sort of natural look. If you're willing to spend out a little bit more money, and you're not potentially going to be showing quite as much flesh, you can opt for silicone. I refer to them as mastectomy breasts. They're for women that have had breast removal, and you can get them in various different types. This one's got makeup on. Obviously they come with the nipple. I think you can get them without the nipple as well. I got these ones off of eBay. Normally I think they start at about £65–70. I think I got these ones for about 60 because they started at a lower price. They've got a natural weight to them. They are silicone. They do feel very realistic. And I used to get a lot of people asking if they could feel, which is nice being asked rather than just coming up and going for it. So if you want a more natural feel, if you are going for a more natural look, if you've got a higher neckline on your outfit, these can be really, really good, and then you don't have to worry about them moving as much. You can get ones that are sticky on the back. These ones aren't. They have got an indent on the back, you can see that, and that does mould to you quite nicely. They can sort of almost suction to you a little bit, but if you get particularly warm they will slide, and where they've got a seam around the outside, these ones are a little bit harder to actually blend to the skin because that actually pulls up when you're wearing them. But different ones work differently. This is just the pair that I've got. I never got rid of these because someone lovingly tore the nipple on my other one. But they are really, really nice. They feel really nice to wear. They're not uncomfortable. They can be a little bit heavy. Failing that, you can use things like tights filled with rice, lentils, things like that. Just be aware that as you sweat, they can smell, and they won't last as long as a chicken fillet or something. So chicken fillets, as a general rule, you can pick up quite cheaply, so don't be too worried about spending out too much. But obviously if you're just starting out and you want to try something new, and you don't want to fork out too much, most people have got a pair of tights, and most people have got some spare rice, or some corn. Just something that is quite fine is generally better, because otherwise it can feel quite lumpy. So obviously it's going to be really obvious if they try and have a feel when you've got that in, because they're very, very hard as well. So yeah, I think that's about it for my hints and tips. If you guys have got any more questions, or you'd like any other questions answered, then just drop me a message, or do me a video response, and hopefully it won't be so long before I post another video. Thanks very much. See you guys soon. Bye.